Oh, you know what I forgot to say in the beginning too is we're doing the giveaway. If you comment something, we might have to just splice this into the front, right? We're doing the giveaway. If you comment on one of the latest YouTube videos, also subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen or watch. Subscribe, and if you're subscribed to the YouTube and do a comment, we are going to give away $50 as a gift card or as weed. Just kidding, Mom. It's satirical. Hey, welcome to another podcast. Welcome to another episode of the If This Doesn't Work podcast. Today, on the episode, we have a very special guest, the woman who birthed this.
You're responsible for all of this.
Yeah. You know that, right? Everything I do, you're responsible for. Everything I say. Everything I say, you're kind of like, you inherently co-sign.
No.
My mother,
You're
Sheila.
18.
Huh?
I said you're over 18.
You were happy then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I was in the midst of my shit then, too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, what's it like having such a pretty, funny, charismatic superstar son?
No, I don't know.
Got him.
Damn, cut that. We can edit this, okay, Sheila? I love you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Notice she didn't say I love you back.
I love you too.
Yeah, I don't have any questions like prepared. Oh, I know. Could you rate the ethnicities from your favorite to least favorite?
No.
I'm just kidding. I was waiting. When she starts answering, dude, you know?
Amazing. Amazing.
I asked
That's
Sarah
how
that.
you get views.
I asked
Listen,
Sarah that.
But did she didn't
Of course
do
she
it.
didn't fucking answer, no.
She looked dead in the camera and said, no.
Yeah, that's what she did.
So, were Sarah and Justin planned?
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, I forgot. Mike and I were speaking the other day, and he was like, so Sarah is named after, you know, who? And I'm like, oh, our grandmother. And he's like, so you're named after the grandfather? And I'm like, you know what, Mike? I never really thought about who the fuck I was named after, so I'm curious. And then he's like, were you guys, you know, he was asking me, like, were we, Sarah and I, both planned?
No.
Neither one of us?
Well, we tried for Sarah.
God damn it, we were right.
Fuck, I
was a
feeling.
mistake.
I had a feeling.
Well, you were because I was still breastfeeding, and you were born like 15 months after she was born, so it was a mistake.
Nice.
A quick one.
Is that why I was just in time?
Well,
Or no, that was just some bull. You guys were high. Or what was
No.
the deal?
I wanted Tyler, but then Kelly named Tyler. So then I wanted
That
Justin.
bitch stole your name.
I wanted Justin, and your father wanted just in case or just in time, and I was like,
wow. Okay.
I can't put it on the. I couldn't put it on the. After I held you, I was like, I can't put that on your birth certificate. You'll hate me forever. So we just made it Justin T. And your father loved James Taylor, so he liked JT for that.
Right. So
That's why he called you JT.
So right. So I go by Justin Time still, but the truth is my middle name is the letter T, which
Correct.
is like boring and lame.
I respect you so much for not letting him do that.
I
feel like it's
said-
a joke name at that
It
point.
is,
You know what I mean?
But I'm a
Like,
joke. This is a joke life.
but to name one
No.
kid after someone and have a namesake and then have a joke name.
Well, like I
it's
said,
almost
bro.
like, is this the joke kid?
I've
This
never-
is the serious
I've
kid?
never even thought about whether I
Oh,
was
I'll
planned
delve
or
into
not.
it for you.
You know that? I've never even thought. I mean, not that I care. It's like I really don't give a shit. But
Right.
you know, yeah, I just never thought about that. So interesting. So you and Dad were fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just twice.
Yeah.
That's all I know about my parents, honestly.
Yeah. How? So let's see. Prior to me, you grew up Irish Catholic, raised Irish Catholic,
Yeah.
by white people, in Savannah
Middle
Park.
Middle class.
In Savannah Park.
Yeah.
Technically. Right on the Pasadena line.
Right.
So you represent Pasadena, though. Sarah says you rep Pasadena more than Savannah Park because now she's over there. She's a Parky.
She's a Parker.
She's a Parker.
Parker.
Yeah, that's what Granny always called them, Parkers.
Well, but Granny's a Parker.
No, but the Parkers.
You're like, well, we live there, but we're still trashy. So.
No, the other ones, the ones that lived in Chartwell and Chart Ridge.
Oh, there's like certain
all
areas
those
of
Ben
there.
Oaks and all those places. Yeah, they had the $1 million homes and stuff.
Gotcha. The
we
haves
had our
versus
little-
the have-nots. Even though you were
Yes.
in the haves area a little.
Right,
Well, by
we
zip
were-
code, technically.
Yeah, we were just by zip
It
code.
doesn't feel like Savannah Park, but
No.
So you grew up as a twin.
Mm-hmm.
Identical or fraternal?
Fraternal.
Fraternal, so they barely count.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And you were the first too.
Yes.
You and Uncle Pat.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what was that like being born? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember.
And then and then it's like, I
Okay,
guess.
we were born in August, me and Uncle Pat. The next October, Uncle Sean was born. And the next October after that,
So
Aunt
also
Kathleen was
quick.
born. 4 and 3 years, yeah.
So 2 girls, 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
1 boy being your twin brother.
Mm-hmm.
Another boy being, and then Aunt Kathleen's the youngest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were you closest to any of them? Like, were you very close to Pat? Like, your twin?
No, I wasn't. He
Were
was
you
always
close to the girl? Aunt Kathleen?
Aunt Kathleen. Yeah, I was close. I was closer to Uncle Sean really because he was so easy to get along with.
Really?
Yeah.
He's always been easy to get along with, huh?
Yeah.
Just kind of don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Did you guys get in any knockdown, drag out fights? growing
No,
up? No.
no.
You went to what school?
St. John's and then Spalding.
Private school girl.
Mm-hmm.
All you guys went to private school the whole time?
Well, we all went to St. John's and there was no tuition. All you had to do was pay your envelopes at church, which was bizarro at that time. You know, it was really.
Oh, to have to pay for your own envelopes? It was Bizarro? Or
no,
what
it was bizarro not to pay for tuition for a private
right. That would
Catholic
be,
school.
Oh,
yeah.
Bizarro now, right?
Yeah. So, and then we went to Spalding. We all 4 went to Spalding to start, but then Uncle Pat and Uncle Sean and Aunt Kathleen started messing up.
I like how is everyone but you seems kind of, if I had them on, I wonder if they'd say the same thing.
My parents said they weren't going to pay $800 a year for
you
each
guys
one
to
of
mess
them
up.
to mess up.
What's
So
$800 a year?
that was a tuition
I thought they didn't have to pay tuition.
in Spalding High School.
Oh, so, okay.
It was only St. John's, 1
at
through 8.
St. John's, it was free because of the envelopes.
1 through 8, uh-huh.
And basically, they're just making sure you're going to church, right? That's what it sounds like to me.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty
Pay for the
much.
envelopes in
Yeah.
church and you can come. It's like, yeah, come get saved by us. The envelopes you got to fill with your money and give to us, but
Right.
you got to pay
Right.
for the envelopes. So
Then the rest of them went to
all 3 of them
Chesapeake.
started getting into trouble at school or what?
yeah, they just weren't, applying themselves.
So all 3 of them, but you, they all left school and you stayed?
Mm-hmm. I'm the only one that graduated.
That's
from
why you
there.
were such a nerd?
Yeah.
Were you really into scholastic like learning?
I mean, I was
You were
just an
good at it?
average student.
Really?
Yeah. Uncle Pat was really, really good. He never had to open a book. He was smart as anything. I had to try really hard. And then, of course, they compare the two.
Oh,
me
because
and
the
him.
twins, right?
Yes,
right,
yes,
right.
yes. And
Yeah, you're born. It's like you have a built-in friend with a twin, but also a built-in comparison at all times.
yes, and it was not a good comparison.
Because you mean like student-wise?
Yeah, student wise, and then
You did sports or what?
Oh, and sports too. I was terrible at sports. He did good sports. I was awful. And I was on a basketball team at Spalding, and he never came to one of my games.
wait, hold on. Wow.
I was not good.
Because you weren't good or because you were a girl? Like, why do you think
Both.
Pop didn't go?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. But, we went to every one of They played basketball. They played football. They played baseball. We went to all their games. All Pat and Sean. All
Well, that has to make you
growing
feel
up.
very supported.
Yeah.
Granny went?
Oh, yeah. We all went. The
No,
whole family
to
went.
your game. Probably not, right?
Probably not.
Did she do much by herself? Or she did back then? I just assumed
She
because
had
she has such a
friends and did
subservient
stuff.
role to Pop.
Yeah.
I mean, traditionally, like a traditional male, old school male, female.
Right. She did some. I mean, she bowled for years and
Was
years.
Pop
and years.
around?
When I was
growing
growing
up?
up? No, he worked 3 jobs. He worked for BG&E, and then he umpired, and he
That's where I got it from.
bartended,
Remember I did
and he
that for a
bartended.
month?
He bartended.
And he
yeah.
bartended.
So he
just
you know,
bartended so he could drink.
So he could be away from the house with the 4 little kids that were under 3 years old.
Smart move. Write
You
that down.
umpired?
Huh?
You umpired?
Dude, I umpired for. We were just talking about this for the first time in years. I had to. Dude, it's hilarious. This is how old was I?
I don't know, about 18, 19.
18. I was clean from drugs ish at the time. I was a time where I was like, I'm doing okay right now. It was because I'd get on and off, and I was like, Mom, I just need this startup money to get the gear, and then I can make X amount per game. Like we did, it was like a thing, and I went to this class.
Oh, wow.
This is
It was a real official.
Yeah.
The whole time, dude, I like.
First of all, he couldn't hardly see.
Yeah. I
He
just
didn't have
pre-LASIK
glasses.
surgery, and I can't see very well, dude. So I'm just calling whatever the fuck, not thinking it really matters. I have like, track marks that are still healing on my arms, dude. And I'm like, "Ball." And parents are like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm barely even here. I have no idea." I stopped because I was like, not for the confrontation with the parents, and I was just kind of, I didn't know. But so Pop did that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was into baseball like that.
Well, he was umpire. I mean, he was very athletic too. He was in, the championship season of his senior year at Calvert Hall with
No, I didn't know
ice
that.
hockey.
Ice hockey?
He had a hat trick Harry. He got 3 goals. Yeah.
Pop played ice hockey?
Yes, at Calvert Hall.
Bro, I know nothing about this family.
Really?
Damn, maybe I did. Hat trick Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, dude.
That's awesome.
That's swaggy.
Hockey's a cool sport.
That's swaggy.
Yeah, I
That's a
mean,
cool sport.
just they just did it at in Baltimore. That Calvert Hall is, I don't know. It seems weird to have an ice hockey team there, in high school there.
So his main
They
gig
still
was
do.
his main gig was the BG&E.
Mm-hmm.
He was in. He was in the Marines.
Yes, he was in the Marines.
And he will, and if you meet him to this day, you'll
He's
know.
still a Marine.
You will know.
Yes.
You know.
He was in for 4 years, and you would think he was in there for
Well,
30.
I remember for years growing up, he's just a Marine, right? You don't ask how long did you do or what was it like, And then when you get older and you found out he did his 4, and you're just like, what the fuck? I thought you were GI Joe this whole time.
That's funny.
I thought you were Special Forces or some shit, a Green Beret. But you obviously were post that. His
Well,
active duty
he did
or whatever.
What do they call it when they go on the weekends? Reserves. He did the reserves. We had to get up in the
He did
in
the reserves
dark.
after his regular.
Yes, and we'd have to get up in the dark and go drive him somewhere.
What?
It was real early in the morning. It
Oh,
was dark
okay,
out.
right,
All
right,
four
right.
of us
That's
had to
what you
go.
remember,
We all
right.
had to go. Whenever we went anywhere, we only had one car. We all had to go.
Did you guys share rooms?
Oh yes.
Was you and Kathleen and then the boys?
They had bunk beds, and then we had the little one that slides in and out underneath the little table.
Church every Sunday. Mm-hmm. The whole time? Or did it fade?
Oh no, it didn't fade. We faded.
Sure.
Because we started when we could drive. We
You
would
got
all four
older.
go together. We would just go to Dunkin' Donuts for an hour and come back.
Yeah, for sure. When you get the autonomy and choice.
Yeah, we were hot shit.
Yeah. Dinner every night as a family?
Oh yeah.
Granny's cooking? Pop's helping? No. Pop's not doing nothing, huh?
No, I mean Papa will cut the grass. and
Well,
shit.
no, right. He's doing the outside shit or
He
the,
don't,
whatever
he
the
didn't do
man
that.
shit
No
is.
kitchen work. No laundry. No kitchen work. No nothing.
That's stuff for women.
Yeah.
Did they talk to you guys a lot? Like about you? About no? Not about nothing, huh?
No.
Did Granny tell you about sex?
Oh my God, no.
That's so funny that it would be like that answer. Oh God, no. Learn about the process of life from the person who gave me no.
When I got my very first period,
You didn't tell
I
Sarah
woke-
about sex either. You passed that generational silence along.
She can find out in school.
Yeah, that's not what you want. That's not what we want.
No, when I got my period for the first time, I woke up Granny and I said, I got my period. And she's like, okay, here's a booklet and a sanitary pad.
Wait, a booklet?
A booklet.
Was it religious?
No, it was
Okay.
just,
It was medical?
I guess what to expect, blah,
So
blah,
she
blah.
had a little period booklet ready for you?
Yeah, and a sanitary pad. And she's like, here you go.
And it didn't talk to you? Mm-mm. Oh my gosh. And I think that has to do with like the Catholic shame and guilt
yeah,
around
it's all-
anything sexual, which
it's
is
all-
like, that's not even sexual. That's just a part of your body at that point.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just, she's not a communicator. Like me, I'm not a real good communicator either.
You're not, but you're like extremely supportive, but not in like a verbal affirmation way. Like
Right.
you're solid as a rock, but you're just not gonna let nobody know how solid you are. You know what I mean? It's like, I know that you're solid as a rock, but yeah, your ability to avoid is impressive. Remember this one time I got in that bad accident? Listen, I'll never
Which
forget.
bad accident was that?
Fair point, okay? It was an actual vehicle accident. I had borrowed someone's truck and then totaled it.
Jesus.
And I had it for one day. I was like, what could happen? Remember
This
this?
could happen.
No.
That's
Where
great.
was the accident at?
Right on Edwin Rayner. I had I smashed, I totaled the
Oh.
truck I was in. It was the worst vehicle
And
accident
you
I've been
hit
in.
the two people in front of you?
Yeah.
And it was right after.
Right when you
like,
pull
we
off
go
the
over the
highway.
bridge?
Yeah. Right when you get off the highway, off 100 on
Yes,
Edwin
yes,
Rayner,
yes. I do
at the
remember
light,
that.
the
You were
traffic
very
was back.
upset about it because
Oh
you
my gosh.
thought you hurt the people, and they were like, "Oh, we're okay, we're okay."
I called my mom freaking the fuck out. And where were you? You were watching the girls with Granny? You were doing
I
something.
don't
Basically, I called my mom in like a state of like, I just killed
Hysteria.
someone. I'm about
Yeah.
to go to jail. Fuck it. I'm like freaking out on the middle of the street.
5 minutes away from your house here.
Freaking out. 5 minutes away from my house. Freaking out. And I like ended up hanging up. Like I had to deal with the police or something. And then I talked to my mom like an hour later. And then I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. I'm like, calm down. I'm like, I'm sorry if I worried everyone that you're with. And my mom's like, oh, I didn't tell them. And it's just like the fact that she was like right there in front of them and got this call from her youngest son, like, oh my God, I just killed someone. And my mom's just like, okay, all right, all right. Like the fact that she's even able to do that, bro, and hide that on your face is like, that's expert level avoidance. That's expert level like masking, Mom.
I am a master at it.
Yeah, I mean, really, that is genuinely impressive. I don't know why that one sticks out to me. But yeah, you did a lot.
Yeah,
of
I
that.
didn't never tell. I didn't want to tell Granny and Pop anything.
Yeah. For their sake,
Yeah.
it wasn't like you were like you thought they'd judge you as a
No.
parent.
No.
Did you judge yourself as a parent? Like for my shit.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like, see, that's the thing. Because that's the thing. I
mean, you were both raised the exact same way.
exactly.
One went this
There you
way
go.
and one went that way.
There's your proof.
It's the path you take.
Exactly. So there's a proof that it's not the parenting. I mean, obviously, it's like, I mean, just because you guys were good parents, it's like, it's but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like yeah, I started being a knucklehead young, huh? Let me ask you this: what hurt worse, when I got suspended from St. Jane Francis for the fart powder, or when I got kicked out of Mount St. Joe or Northeast? Which one of those?
The Mount St. Joe was the worst one for me.
Oh, because it was the end of the Catholic school, probably, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
look, so yeah, I went to St.
I had these questions, so I'm glad you guys are already addressing it. Go ahead.
So I went to St.
He got kicked out of every school he ever went to.
That's what I kind of figured, but I didn't. I mean, I wanted to ask you.
I did.
True.
I
What,
did.
what
I
the
was.
deal was.
I think you got kicked out of summer school too.
No, I passed summer school. Thank you very much. Yeah, I got. What is it? The St. Joe one? Oh yeah. So because I went to St. Jane Francis all through, all 8 years, private Catholic school. And then I went to Mount St. Joe. She was so happy I got into St. Joe. The matter of fact, fun story, the day I went to take my entrance exam at St. Joe is when you went through my room and found that weed in that stuffed animal.
Oh.
I know for a fact because I went and took the test with a friend of mine. And then when you picked us up, I knew something was wrong, brother. Oh, my God. And then you did the thing where, like, well, you wouldn't address it because he was there, and you took him to drop him off. But I knew immediately. You did not match that because you were going to say something about it. But that's when. So I was already kind of being a knucklehead.
Yeah. You got suspended or you got kicked out because you were selling pot to the upperclassmen as a freshman. That's what you were doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, these kids at St. Joe would pay like $50 for a gram because they were just like, weed is cool. And like, it was, but that was hurtful probably because, it was like the end of the Catholic school. Mm-hmm. And I hated Catholic school. I hated private school. I mean, I missed the food and the fights at St. Joe because the food was delicious and the fights were good because there was no girls and it was just testosterone and horny guys beating the shit out of each other, and the wrestling team was real big and the football, you know what I mean? It was like, I remember they had like arm wrestling contests in the whole cafeteria. I mean, it was just like all this machismo. It was nuts. But yeah, I guess, I got kicked out of, well, what it was, I was already on academic probation or something. And then they did something.
And then they found your phone and it had SWE on it.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, that's it. He's gone. Boop.
Yeah. They caught me with weed or something.
I think they told me it was because you had what you had on your phone.
I think they because of the phone is because that's why they got the weed. I think. That's what gave them the right to search my shit. I believe was the phone. Yeah, I don't know. It's like also they're like operating as a crime unit. You know what I mean? It's like, is this allowed? But I guess it's their.
When
building.
you're in their school, you might be subject to.
That's what I'm saying. You should definitely. Yeah. When you're at their school, you're at their mercy. But I remember their names and everything. Fitzgerald and Armstrong.
Oh, Armstrong. I remember
he
him.
was the disciplinarian. He was the meaner one.
Oh, I wrote letters and everything.
Oh, you poor thing. Well, I remember when I got suspended in St. Jane Francis.
I was pissed off about that.
You cried. That was my first time I specifically made you cry. A plus B equals C. I'm sure I had made you cry plenty, but it was like the first time it was like, oh, my actions have made her cry. and I got fart powder from Spencer's and put it in this girl's drink because I thought it was funny. And they were like, "You're like putting things in girls' drinks." I'm like,
white powder. It's like it was back when all the stuff
Anthrax.
with anthrax.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
all
yeah,
with
yeah.
anthrax going
And
on.
I'm literally being a kid, like, let's make Amanda fart. Like, it'll be funny. And they were not having it. They did not find it
And
funny.
you told me you didn't do it, didn't you? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, I probably lied and said I did not do it.
Yeah, and that I was so mad. And then you got suspended, but the other guy that gave you the fart powder didn't, or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't fair somehow. But yeah, I definitely probably did whatever the fuck they said I did, you know. I definitely put the fart powder in the drink. But and then St. Joe, yeah, I guess that was bad too. I mean, I don't know, when did I start going to rehab? That's what I wonder. Like, I guess what
You started early.
I know that, but what grade? I guess I probably started in outpatient rehabs and stuff prior to going to like an inpatient.
Do you remember they said that you wrote the best letter?
Sounds right.
I don't know which. It was one of the earliest rehabs because we thought you were going there for pot. And they told me, the counselor guy, after the class was over, after the sessions were over, he said, I got the best letter, one of the best letters I've ever gotten. It's like, why you're here, or what are your thoughts, or whatever. And you talked about heroin.
Oh, we had to write a letter to our drug of choice.
How old was he?
15, 16?
16.
Probably 16 if it was heroin.
Shit. I couldn't tell you where to get heroin at fucking that age.
Yeah, I think I was doing heroin at 15, so it could have been 15, but I didn't start shooting it till 16. But I do remember it was that write a letter to your drug of choice, like addressed to the drug.
And that was like one of your very first rehabs. It was outpatient.
Right.
We did several.
So many. Do you know how many? not the covering of the face. How many? Well, this is why I think this is good too, because some people are like, you know, my cousin's on his 5th rehab. I've given up all hope, and I always tell them, I say, look,
you went more than that.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, I went to 9 inpatients. I think 9 different inpatients.
But like, what was your worst thing you did? So someone in my friend's family like took like heirlooms and sold that shit, like shit you're never gonna get back, and he did that more than one time. It wasn't just like a one time. It was
It's not that I was doing
you know
anything.
what I mean?
What, do you got some?
No, you didn't. You
I
didn't
thought
really.
you were about to be like,
You
this
didn't steal
motherfucker.
any heirlooms.
I didn't steal any heirlooms because there wasn't any laying around, thankfully. but
I locked up all the jewelry.
yeah, I mean, it was not that I did anything super bad to the family. It was I was killing myself slowly. I was running around in Baltimore City, pretending like I belonged there, which was like the craziest part. Yeah, but I guess what was it? I started very young. Started going to inpatient rehabs. So I must have been in high school.
Yeah.
And that's why it must have been the outpatient. I guess I went to the inpatients in high school too.
Yeah.
And I guess they must have been okay with that, the high schools.
Yeah, or maybe you did the outpatients during school, and then in the summertime you did
something.
the inpatients.
Do you know what got you there? Like, you were smoking weed probably, and you were like, what's this on steroids? Or
so yeah, basically
how
it was,
do you get there?
Well, I was molested as a kid, right? Obviously.
Sure.
So that's how it starts, but I don't even realize that until later. Like, I knew it happened.
You could do the weed then. Like,
no, I know. So, but here's the thing. So, like, I was a knucklehead before the even weed. It was like I was anti-authority. I was like anti. I wanted to do the opposite of what everything. Like, I was just whatever the thing was. I was like, I remember you'd do my hair for church, and I'd mess it up. She'd do it over. I'd mess it up. I mean, literally, I remember going back and forth with you, and it was just like I was. I think now they call it oppositional defiant disorder. It's like called ODD, but yeah, I just am anti everything. So when I found the kids that were smoking, and also I didn't really gravitate towards sports. I didn't gravitate towards.
You were really good at soccer, though. You were so good.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. I tried some. I did like.
We tried basketball,
soccer, basketball, baseball, you name them. But
music,
football,
instruments or anything.
No, I didn't really try to. But I wasn't You know, there was no gravitational pull for me, and I guess I didn't try a whole lot either. Which is another thing. Looking back, I didn't really try like a whole lot of different. I tried different sports, but I was never drawn to anything like a lot of kids are. And I think that identity or sense of tribe is helpful. And then in another weird way, because I was in public school, a lot of times the people you're hanging out, I was hanging out with neighborhood kids that weren't in my grade because we were just neighborhood kids. It wasn't like we went to school together. Yeah. So I noticed that too. I was hanging out with kids that were many years older than me. because they happened to be in the neighborhood, and I thought what they were doing was cool. You know, whether it was stealing a little thing from the John's General Store, whether it was like spray painting something or setting something on fire.
God, you and the
I was a
spray
little
paint.
pyro too. Yeah, the spray paint. I mean, I was doing stuff that was like I was just like being like a subculture guy or something. I don't know what the fuck my problem was, but the weed.
You were very angry.
Well, right, which makes sense looking back, right? Of course, and it's like, and no one, and you are just like, what's the fucking deal, you know? And it's like, it's got to be such a shitty feeling as a parent to be like, I'm doing everything right, and I can't fix this, you know? And then Sarah, I mean, she went through a little bit of a knucklehead stage, huh? So I remember,
She was just
she did like a regular kid would, like a regular kid. That's what I got.
You don't like me, blah blah blah.
I meant with the drugs. She smoked weed and stuff, but that was like like she didn't really get into them.
And
I
she
think
smoked those Black and Miles or something.
yeah, don't even get high. What the hell, Sarah? But yeah, that's just got to be tough to not know what the fuck's going on with me. And then so I'm smoking the weed, and then I guess the weed turns into pills.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, what
like,
else?
did someone like bring you into it, or were you just like,
I
this
tell-
is not doing enough?
No.
I need more.
Somebody brought you in. I know who it was.
Name him. No, I'm just
What, who was it? Okay, yeah, we have to edit that out. Can you write this for real? Write that down. I didn't know. I thought you were gonna say one of my friends that you disliked.
No,
you know?
no, I knew you. I knew.
Well, stop saying it so we can not have to edit it as much. But yeah, so basically somebody that was older than me, that was close to me, wanted to borrow money. But yeah, basically, so someone older than me, that was kind of like I was very close with, friends with. They asked me to borrow money, is what it was. And I was like, what do you need the money for? And the person was like, I'm getting an Oxycontin, which I had heard of. And I had probably tried like hydrocodone or like a little Percocet with Tylenol, you know, little shit, or like tried robo-tripping or eating the over-the-counter stuff that you could try. I tried all that stuff, you know, whatever the hell. But when this person said that they were getting an Oxycontin, I was like, I'll give you the money if you let me get a little bit of that. And the person was like, have you done that before? And without skipping a beat, I'm like, of course. Like, yeah, dude, I'm like, yeah, I do that Oxycontin all the time. Like, I made sure to be like, yes, I've done this. And the person goes and I give the money to them. They go get an Oxycontin 80 milligram, which is insane that they were able to sell these things at all. And
it went higher than
Is that a lot?
too.
Huh?
It went higher
I know,
than that.
I know.
Is that a lot? 80
I mean,
milligrams?
yeah, it's legal heroin. That's
Yes.
when the Oxycontin was just, you know,
If
the
you
OG.
have
Oh.
back surgery, they don't fucking give you that much.
It's
Like,
insane.
It's a lot.
The Oxycontin 80s were insane.
They made 160s. Like it's nuts. It's nuts. I'm happy I never got into pills because it's a slippery slope. That
Well,
they
then
did not
once
know
you get the
about.
pills, then you go to the heroin.
So what had
But they
happened
didn't
was
Because you can't afford the pills.
Well, yeah.
Well, look,
yeah.
the specific time though I'm doing it, it's like the first time the person, there's a coating on the outside of the pill, so you have to get that coating off
Why?
because you have to crush it up to snort it.
Oh,
So
you
you
don't
get-
eat it? You just
You
snort it?
can, but you know we're drug addicts, right?
Oh.
So the person gets the coating off of it.
I need to feel it now.
The person gets the coating off of it and then takes a hose clamp, which is one of those, and then shaves it down, and it turns it into this dust. And they give me the tiniest little bit of dust, which I snort, and then I proceed to get so sick. And I mean, I am like, and this is when I knew I was in trouble. And this is a genuine key moment that I remember like it was yesterday. I was at the house, and
I remember you were downstairs and you were all messed up in the basement.
Oh,
Well,
what?
that was another time.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, but when I almost died,
Yeah.
that was a whole different time. That was that was a different thing.
Oh.
But no, I was just sick, like vomiting, not like in the kind of about to die. But I remember this is my first time trying it, so the sickness and the high are hitting me at the same time. And I remember being wrapped around the toilet, vomiting. And like, as soon as I'm done this huge vomit in between another vomit, I'm like, I feel so good right now. Like, even as
my
that's what I
God.
know, it's sick. It's gross. It's gross. I was literally like, so physically sick to my stomach, like puking with a smirk, you know? I'm like, oh yeah, this is the stuff. It's fucking disgusting. But yeah, so then it was off to the races basically. And then I did those, like you said, until you can't afford them. Because those pills were going for $50 at the time, you know, $60 for one pill.
And the more you take, the more you need.
And then you build a tolerance and you need more. So that's the thing. It's actually like people are like, who you know, I love when people are like, I would never do heroin. It's like, everyone says that. Of course, bro. No one is like, I think one day I'll probably try. I don't know.
Same thing with killing people. You don't like, I'm going to kill someone one
Yeah,
day. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It just sort of happens, kind of.
Exactly. So that's how it was. It was like, you know, you do the pills, you develop a tolerance, you can't afford them anymore. And then I remember the jobs too. Remember I had to have jobs. Oh God, the jobs, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. Dairy Queen, the car dealership, washing cars. I mean, I'd rob a safe or get caught getting high in the bathroom. I mean, it was just it was terrible. But I would go from, so I remember the pills and not having them and having like a physical sickness. And I didn't even really know about getting physically dependent at the time. Like, I mean, I guess I kind of knew, but like I didn't think I was. And I wasn't feeling well one time. And I didn't even put the 2 and 2 together. And then my friend gave me some of his pill and my problems went away. And I was like, oh.
You feel fine?
And instead of going like, there's a problem, I go, oh, there's a solution. And it was literally that simple in my head. I'm like, well, I don't want to feel terrific, so I'll just do it. And then I kept doing it, kept doing it. And then it's like, I'm already snorting the pill. This is where the transition happens, right? It's not like you're taking this pill and then you switch to shooting heroin. You take the pills, you snort the pills, and then you end up having to snort them constantly. And then you're spending too much money. And then someone's like, oh, here's this other thing you can snort. It's a pill, they call it, which is a dope pill, because in Baltimore they put them in these like capsules. Not everywhere. It's somewhere some places they sell balloons and stuff like that. But in Baltimore they sell something called Scramble, which is heroin mixed with other shit that somebody makes up in their fucking bathtub. And basically, like, you're trusting whatever that is and putting it in you, but you're snorting it. You can, so you're going from snorting this pill at $60 to snorting this pill that's $10. It's not, it's that simple. It's like, oh, it's the same effects. And it basically is. Again, the Oxycontin is like legal heroin. So you're just making that transition. And then when you snort them for a while, you build that tolerance, and then the people around you are shooting it, and you're like, ew, that's disgusting, and I hate needles, I could never.
I never thought you would do it because you hate needles so bad. Oh my God.
I still do. That's what's funny. Even when I go to give blood, I'm like, I know this is weird, but don't like this. Do not like this. It feels surreal that I ever did it. But the first time, this is also interesting, the first time I did it, somebody else did it for me, which is, I think, well, here's the thing. I think that's always how it goes, right? Which is kind of gross to think about, because that means that it's being passed on almost every time by someone so sick that they put it in someone else for the first time. Now, I remember I would have to sniff like 6-7 pills to get well, right? Because you don't even get high. You have to get well, then high, because you're sick. You start off every day sick, and then you have to get normal. But I was sniffing so many, almost like $100 worth of pills sometimes a day. And then they were like, you need a quarter of a pill when you shoot it. And it was, again, a financial decision, as weird as that is. And I couldn't even look at it. I couldn't even look at it when somebody did it. And then they did it. And it felt, it was like, and that's another thing. Sniffing heroin and shooting heroin should be considered different drugs entirely. Because it's like
complete different high.
Well, here's the difference. So sniffing heroin, you get that opiate feeling, like a heavy Percocet or whatever. You're naughty or itchy or fucked up. It feels great. You're in this like nirvana. But the shooting of the heroin gives you this rush that is the indescribable part. That's what the real heroin junkies are addicted to. Now, after that rush goes away, that rush lasts 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. And then it's 8 hours of that great I'm nodding feeling. So it's both. But that rush is like the dangerous part, because that's when your body's flooded with all the things. And so that's how. That's how I slowly but surely. I mean, and it took some years, of eventually getting there. And God damn, So that's when you found out I was on heroin, from the rehab letter.
Yeah, but I'm sure you talked your way out of it, and you convinced me that I was wrong and it wasn't you and all that. I didn't really believe it, because you don't want to believe it. But when you went to Jackson Unit, and we used to go up there, and I would
shout out to the JU, baby.
Ride with your father and Tracy, or I would go by myself.
So you and my dad are split up. You guys split up when I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
just for the record.
Yeah. So because
he cheated.
Yeah, because he cheated.
Runs in the family.
Not just cheated, but actually had a full blown. Other people thought he was their girlfriend.
Oh, really? Like a full blown affair?
Full blown affair.
Oh, like
it wasn't a one night thing.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a one night thing.
No, right. Either way, something can be discussed. But a whole
continual thing where other people think that her, that's her girlfriend.
Oh, no.
No.
Damn, Dale.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Bye. What was I saying? Oh, when you went to Jackson
Now you're
Unit,
mad at Dale all over again.
when you were in JU, and they were keeping you for 60 days, I think, and then something happened. I don't know if you got in a fight with somebody, probably a fight with somebody, and then they were gonna make you stay another 13 days or 10 days or something, and you were gonna leave, and I went up there and I was like begging you, do not leave, please, do not leave, do not leave. And you didn't. You stayed the whole time. And then you got into a thing with one of the counselors.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I didn't know what you meant by a thing. I thought you meant like a fight or an argument.
No, I had a little fling going.
Oh yeah.
I
with
was
the
in
counselor.
How much older?
Maybe
6,
about
7 years.
6. Yeah, she was about in her 20s.
I was 17, going on 18.
Turned 18.
I
in
turned
there.
18 in the rehab, and basically, yeah, there's this lady there who would like bring me food from outside that was good as hell. All the other kids would be asleep because it was a juvenile unit. But
Yes.
I was turning 18 in the unit, so I was mad I was even in the juvenile unit, and I was mad they wouldn't let me smoke because it's still a juvenile unit, even when I'm 18.
18, you could smoke.
Not with me though,
Right,
because
right,
I was
right.
still in that fucking
Right.
unit. I threw a fit about that. But yeah, this lady would like bring me McDonald's. Oh my god, it was great. And then after I got out, I went up and seen her, and we
Yeah.
had like a little bit of a flirt.
Okay.
I forgot all about that. I've never told
What was her
anyone
name?
that. I don't fucking remember.
Oh.
Yeah, nurse something like no, but yeah. So Jackson unit.
No,
that was,
they loved you there, really.
Yeah, remember they cried when I left and shit. I remember how heavy that felt. I'm like, I wonder if they do this for every kid. I don't know.
No, they really liked you because you stayed extra long. And
Yeah, that was supposed to be 2 months, and then I ended up staying like 70 some days.
and then the worst feeling at all in the world
Tell me.
was after you came back from Jackson Unit. Oh, everything's good. You're back to your normal self. You're happy. You're normal. Blah blah blah. Clean. Like-
clean.
Less than a week later, I'm searching your room as I tended to do, and I found needles. After I had cleaned the whole thing out when you were gone.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was all cleaned out, and then I was like, went right back to it.
Uh.
Motherfucker.
Motherfucker. Yeah, it's a hard one to beat.
Yeah.
And then my friends, you probably hated them, huh?
Yeah.
You remember some of them, huh? Most of them.
I remember Megan and John. They were the.
All right, well. And then some of them are dead for sure.
Yeah, Timmy.
Justin Martin.
Timmy O'Brien.
Yeah, there's a few of them never, But yeah, so which one of my girlfriends did you like the least?
The least?
Yeah.
I love Trish.
Oh, that's hilarious. Shout out to you, Trish. She's great. I still love Trish.
Yeah. She's got 2 beautiful little kids. Which I like the least.
You don't have to answer.
I don't know.
No, go ahead.
I liked all of them.
A funner question. Can you tell us about the day he brought that face tattoo home?
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, I don't remember.
I wasn't living at home at that time.
I'm sure you weren't.
Yeah,
I'm sure
but did
you
I,
weren't.
So yeah, good question. Did I call you about it?
Yeah,
I
warned
had
her?
to do. I had to have told you on the phone.
I think you did.
I may have even told you before I got it. I think
Hey,
I tried to.
I need to let you know about a little something you're gonna see when I come to see you.
Yeah, I remember being like, "It's my face," you know.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's your face.
You don't have to look at it though, but yeah, it's your face. You're right. You're right.
I don't have to look
I'm
at it. That's the
kidding,
best
though.
part
I'm
of me
kidding.
having it. You motherfuckers got to look at it. She doesn't have any tattoos.
No,
She's-
I don't like needles.
She hasn't even had her ears pierced.
No, I
My
don't
mom
have my
doesn't
ears
either.
pierced.
She has her ears pierced. She doesn't have the tattoos.
Yeah.
Now though, seems like she'd be more willing. She's Catholic as well. Very into that. Held on to it a long time. I think she's more open to it now though. I think if I was like, hey, let's go get tattoos together one day, I think she'd be into it.
Yeah, I know a lot of friends like Julie, Bill's sister, and Gail. They got a couple together, and
Yeah.
Abby and.
Yeah, you're not anti.
No. I'm just afraid.
You don't like mine.
Yours I don't
They've
mind.
grown on you.
Yeah.
You didn't like them when I started
No,
getting them.
I
I know
didn't.
that.
There were just too many.
Yeah,
Too
well,
much.
I'm not done.
That's fair.
Much too much.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, damn, I don't know. I was just thinking like the night my face got fucked up.
Oh God, that was an awful night.
I was gonna say like, when have you thought I was gonna die the most?
Probably that night.
Really?
When you were, when your face was beaten in, and and it was Sarah's birthday, and we went to the bar, and then we came home, and that's when Sam's mother called me.
My girlfriend's mom, where I was living at the time.
Yes, and she said, you need to come take Justin to the hospital. He got beat up. And we didn't know anything was really wrong with you because we couldn't.
Did you and Sarah come?
No.
Okay. Good.
No.
I was high as a kite.
Were you?
Yeah, remember me yelling shit and pretending I was Rocky? Yo, Adrian, as they're pushing me around because my face is all swollen up. I remember like talking shit in there. I was fucked up.
I remember having to leave the room, and you told the doctor or surgeon that you were a heroin addict.
Yeah.
And they told me to leave the room, and then you told them, and then I don't know, and ended up coming back. I was like, yeah, I know. I mean, it's not a secret.
They were dickheads about it.
Oh.
I remember, like, that wasn't that day. I think that was like
when you had this.
When I actually, because they had to send me home because my face swelling was so bad they couldn't even do the surgery. So I had to go home with my face like this and a big old bottle of liquid hydrocodone that didn't get me well. I had to still do heroin. And then they were telling me, like, on surgery day I couldn't do heroin. I'm like, well, I can't come in sick. I won't even be able to make it in here. And they're like, we'll give you stuff to make you feel okay. Come in first thing in the morning, yada, yada, yada. But they were like, I swear to God, it was like their whole attitude and tones changed towards me when I told them I was a heroin addict, which is kind of fucked up, you know. But so how about when I went to the psych ward? You thought I was gone? You thought I was crazy forever?
No.
Okay, good.
No. Oh man, I told you should write a book because it was so much shit that happened to you.
Yeah.
And work when you were at Teen Challenge and you went to the Safeway and begged for money.
Hold on, time out. Yes, that was one of the jobs that this rehab had us do. Is like,
beg for money.
Yeah, just like the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts would do. They had fucking grown drug addicts standing out front of places like collecting donations, and then we'd skim some off the top. And then they'd search us when we got back. So that's interesting about rehabs too. It's like the one that we give credit to really is Jackson Unit, because that one, even though I didn't get clean then, that's kind of what. It's weird. That planted the real seed. I mean, I guess all the rehabs were like planting seeds, but Jackson, it started to sprout, and then I went and still used for a couple years. But the last one I went to, that Teen Challenge one, was not good. Remember,
who was that? The big guy that.
Shaky Sugar Brown?
Shaky Sugar Brown.
This guy, did you see him?
I think I did see him.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. This guy, he it's not funny really, but it's like I had to live in a room with this guy, but he was shot like 6 times and he was in a coma for a while, and now that he's out of the coma, his left side of his body just shakes. And I mean, it's just all day long. All day long, this motherfucker shakes. And he was this big fat guy, and he loved these brown sugar Pop-Tarts, and he always called them Sugar Browns. He would never say brown sugar, so we called him Shaky Sugar Brown. You got one of them Sugar Browns? Hey, let me get one of them Sugar Browns. Bro, I swear to God, this guy, I mean, R.I.P., I'm sure he's dead. No offense, I'm sure of it. He's dead. Oh my God, that guy. Every morning that guy was crazy.
I mean, that's another thing is when you went to all these inpatient rehabs, you're staying with all these different people, and I mean, and some of the people were pretty shady. And just learning from other addicts how to do shit.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, just sharing room with strangers, I just think, oh my God.
Oh my God. Well, but remember Baltimore City?
Yes.
So remember we turned me in. We turned myself in to Baltimore City Jail, which is like.
Because they figured we were just, they would let you go.
Oh yeah, because we're doing this on good faith,
yeah.
They'll probably not even accept me. They don't want my
just
little
send
white
you right
ass.
Back home.
They don't want my little white ass in there. They said, you're turning yourself in, get on in here, give her your shit. I'm like, right now? Oh my God, it was the hardest thing to do. Even knowing I was going there, when they were like, all right, come on, I'm like, I just have to willingly lock myself up right now. I mean, it was only like 15 days I was in there, but in the processing, first of all, in the processing.
Baltimore City.
Yeah, the processing, you're in there with whoever because they haven't classified everyone yet. And I was in there with this guy who was just like, menace, a fucking menace to society. The charges he had were crazy. The charges he's been had and convicted of were crazy. His whole thing was crazy. He had like he's a BGF guy. This is a gang, Black Gorilla Family. He had 276, the numbers, which are code, in the alphabet, BGF. 276, Untamed Gorilla. He had tattooed right here. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget his entire back was a tattoo of caution tape and like chalk outlines and shell casings. I mean, the guy.
And he was like, what, 6 foot tall and weighed 100 pounds,
Yeah, yeah.
He was really skinny.
Yeah. I love that you think I'm 6 feet tall. I'll take it. It's the confidence that gives me that 6 foot. But yeah, I did not belong in there, but I was like, I could figure, I was good at like fitting in and like figuring out the ways, but like, yeah, that place, that guy would have homemade food from the guards. The female guards would be bringing him shit. Like when they locked everyone in, our door would stay unlocked. Now, I wouldn't leave. Trust me. I was staying right the fuck on my bunk. I was pressing my bunk. I would help. This guy, it was crazy. But yeah, after like living with him for 2 or 3 days, they come and get him out of the cell and they make him like cuff up outside the tray slot and like fucking basically put a face mask on this guy. And they're like, yeah, there's like 6 fucking officers. And I'm just like, my little white junkie ass is behind them like, what the?
To be in here with him?
Yes, bro. I swear to God that people don't get that intake is the sketchiest part because no one's classified.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was bonkers. Baltimore City Jail was absolutely bonkers. I've been to, the Anne Arundel County Jail. That was bonkers. I guess
Jennifer
you visited
Road
me
was like a resort, wasn't it?
Well, it's not a resort. It's like I've heard that. Yeah, it's like Anne Arundel County Jail is like a circus, and Baltimore City Jail is like a zoo. You know what I mean? It's like they're both full. It's just like one's a little bit more juvenile seeming, and then one is a lot more adult seeming. And then it's like in Baltimore City Jail, it's like I remember a phone was upside down because like a gang would own that phone and you couldn't just use that phone. I remember the money system, and it was crazy in there. And then, oh my God, there was a homeless guy in there who had like gangrene from like open abscesses that he had to like rewrap every day, and they would stink the pot up. They made him like go to protective custody because they were like, you can't be here. When I say they, I just mean like the people around. But yeah, it was good times. So you've never been to jail, huh?
No, I have not. I don't think I've ever gotten a speeding ticket.
Saint Sheila. And you've been putting up with my shit for 34 years. That's impressive.
Yeah.
You like me or Sarah more?
God, I was just gonna ask, who's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite.
I know you love them the same, but like, who do you like more?
No.
All right.
Damn. So what else? You got anything to ask me?
Yell at him. Give him the shit he deserves to have. Fuck.
Then you were clean for all those years, and then you did the mushrooms.
The mushrooms.
That was a terrible time.
Yeah.
Poisoning yourself, Justin. What are you doing?
Well, it wasn't. Yeah. So
it's literally.
Yeah. That was an interesting time.
That was a terrible time.
Better than the heroin, right?
I don't know.
Oh shit!
Because why? Because it was like we thought we were past everything.
Well, that was one thing, but just your demeanor was absolutely horrible.
It was the mania.
Mania, yeah. I mean, when you were on heroin, you were easy to deal with.
At least I was more docile.
Yeah,
is what
you're
you're
a lot
saying.
more docile. But the mushrooms, and now you were out of control.
I was out of control. And what was so difficult about that was some of the stuff was like right, That's what was so weird about that time, because it was like, and that's why, remember, sometimes you talk to me and it was like, I'm not really sure where it's like, because some days were better than others, and then I had the intake of psychedelics was different, but like some of that stuff I got holds true to this day, where it was like, wow, I'm glad I found that out about myself at that time. Not that that's the way to do it. I mean, I would not recommend it to anyone. Oh, that was the second time I've been to the psych ward. Oh my God, you poor thing. The first time, do you remember?
Oh, yes. It was my birthday.
No, don't fucking say that.
Oh, God.
Was it?
It was my birthday.
No fucking way.
When they picked you up from here, and they arrested you.
Oh, not that time. I'm talking about.
That was my birthday.
That was.
Yeah.
Damn. So when I got my face smashed in, it was Sarah's birthday. And then when they came and 5150'd me and took me against my will, it was your birthday.
Yeah. And then I don't think has anything ever happened to you on your Cinco de Mayo. That's your father's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a DUI leaving that house when I banged into that car. It was Cinco de Mayo. That's
There you
bizarre. That is
That's
bizarre.
funny.
Those
That's
are all
funny.
big bad events.
Oh, that's all our birthdays.
But do you remember the first time I went to the psych ward?
Yeah, it was when you wanted to take all these pills or something, and the guy down the street, Todd, he was trying to help.
And they came, and so yeah, I was like, wanted to kill myself over a girl, like a fucking pussy, like a pussy.
Little emo boy.
What a bitch. Yeah, I'm still as emotional, just less publicly. But I mean, what the fuck? That's so dramatic too. Like, I'm literally the same person. I'm the same person. To this
Wild.
day.
That's
Yeah, just like
wild.
dramatic as fuck. Like, I'll kill myself right now. I swear to God. And I did that in front of my poor mom at 15 years old. And yeah, then they came. The paramedics and firefighters came, and because I had swallowed some of the sleeping pills,
Right.
I was on sleeping pills. Yeah, I was going through it. And then I remember sitting in the kitchen, and they were worried about the knife drawer, and I was like, I'm not about to fight you guys. And then they made me take the charcoal that I tried to get in the
Yeah.
toothpaste tube, and then I couldn't get it down. So then when I got to the hospital, they had to put the tube in my nose, and I had to swallow and swallow and swallow until it was down here, and then they had to pump it. And fun stuff at 15. Very dramatic.
How about when the SWAT team came to the house?
That wasn't the SWAT team.
It was too.
Well, for the bullets? Or for
The bullets.
Well, so that's what's interesting. I told the story about when I went to the range, which is a separate thing. So when I told that, Sarah called me and she listened to the episode, and she's like, no, they came to the house, remember? Because of the bullets. And I'm like, that was a whole separate time. Because that was for Dad's gun.
Right.
I went and bought bullets at Bart's Sports World. I literally remember in Glen Burnie. I know who I was with and all that. And I wrote my name down. For whatever reason, they were like having you sign your name down to buy bullets. No clue why. My dad just died recently, so I'm 20.
20, yeah.
I go buy these bullets on the up and up in my head. I've never been convicted of a felony. I've been charged with a felony, but never convicted. So I have my dad's gun at home. I buy these bullets. Like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, the fucking police come to my mom's house where I'm living, banging on the fucking door. I open the door. They're like, as soon as I open the door, they're like, where's the gun? I'm like, what the fuck is going? I swear to God, this sounds made up. This is why I don't tell this story much. So thank you for bringing it up. Because if somebody else told me this story, I'd be like, I don't know, man. It was just like, I bought bullets. Okay, 20-year-old Justin Anderson bought bullets in Glen Burnie. The police come to my mother's house in Pasadena a couple weeks later or a month later.
6 cars.
About 6 fucking cars. The whole street is. It was insane. Some of them are not dressed as cops. They got the badges around their neck. Some of them are dressed as cops. There's a lot going on. There's all these cops. The neighbors are calling you. It was a fucking whole thing. It was. And then I tell them where the gun's at. They're like, we don't want to mess your mom's house up. I'm like, yeah, me neither. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? I was already not getting high anymore. I remember that. It was like not like I was getting high. So I was like, you guys missed it. You're late. you guys should have been here years ago. So yeah, I was just like, I think the genuine shock on my face and seeing how I had my head on straight and was like, I think they thought they were coming into something that they weren't, right? So because of my record or whatever the fuck, I don't know what kind of list I was on.
It had to have been the record.
Yeah, but how bizarre is that? So then they took the gun. They take the gun and that they have me out of cuffs, and now I'm sitting at the table in the dining room, and these cops are in and out, and sometimes they're up here and they're talking to me, and then they're down, they're looking throughout. Well, they're in and out too to their cars, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? And then like at one point, I kid you not, they're all like out of the house. And I look outside and they're like rolling away. So I run outside with my socks on still, run out to the last car that's there, and I go, hey guys, that's it? I said, are you guys charging me? And he looks at me and he goes, do you want to get charged? And I was like, no. And he goes, all right, well, if you want your gun back, you can go to the police station. And I'm like, yeah, no thanks. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but you guys can have that one.
How many times have you been to Shepherd Pratt at that point? And this is like 2009,
only the once.
I'm assuming?
Only the once. When I was 15.
Right.
Because I turned 21 in 2009. I assume this is 2008 or 9.
Yeah,
you say
probably.
You're 21-ish.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying, there's no like, it's not like 9/11 just happened.
It
It's
was
not
probably
like
2010
high
or
alert.
11.
But like, part of me is like, okay, cool. You had these red flags.
Yeah, but
They found, but like 2 weeks later,
maybe a
after
month.
you
Maybe
bought
a month.
That's insane.
I don't remember the
It's like,
timing.
what's the point now?
I know, and
What's
all
the
those
point
resources?
now? Right, yeah.
for me at Sheila's house. I'm like, what the fuck are they thinking?
I know. And
Like, couldn't they just call you at the house and just be like, "Hey, your son is on a list
He's
of
not
like
supposed to have
red
this
alert
gun."
we
people,
didn't. Yeah, we
bullets
had
and
no
bullets.
idea.
He's not supposed to have it. Whatever.
Can you give us some insight?
Yeah.
Like, is that not a thing?
Well, I
Can we
was
not
mad
do
because
that?
we didn't get the gun back. I mean, that was your father's gun, but I don't think it was registered, so I was letting that go.
I know, that's the whole thing about it. I'm like, who knows what my dad did with this fucking gun?
Right.
Y'all can keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That was terrible too.
yeah, that was just another whole thing.
Traumatic.
It's been something. You dated my dad because he had a nice car?
Yeah.
Shella.
What kind of car was it?
Camaro?
A 67 Rally Sport Camaro. He redid the whole thing. I mean, redid everything. And then it got stolen
When you were at the bowling alley
at the bowling alley.
and someone stripped it
And
down
they
to its
stripped
fucking
it down
bones.
to the frame. And he didn't have insurance on it.
And then ever since then, he said,
Ever since
fuck.
then, he got $50 cars.
Literally, it was like a change in him where he spent all his time and money on this one car, and he was an auto mechanic.
He had his
That's
heart
a shame.
into
He
it.
was an auto
man.
mechanic,
He loved
and
it.
someone stole it from him, and then literally from that day forward, he'd get a car for as cheap as he could get it.
I mean, I get the sentiment, but like, you shouldn't let the world take your passion or whatever. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, he got into motorcycles.
Yeah, he got a motorcycle.
Those are cool until you kill yourself, because if you ride them, you're gonna fall.
I mean, if lung cancer gets you first, you're all right. You're safe from the accident.
Shit, sorry. Shit.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? You got any more questions for me? You got any questions for her?
I feel like we've gone through pretty much all of them. So you went to private school. You went to all the way up to 8th grade, the St. Jane Francis with
Yep.
me. I mean, I went to 4th grade and I was out. Then you did go to Mount St. Joe.
Yep.
Didn't know you had to get into Mount St. Joe. I just
Yeah,
figured
there
you
was
just
like a
had to-
test.
You just
Yeah.
had to like pay them the tuition.
Nah,
or
Yeah,
whatever.
you had to
that
pay
the
and
test?
pass.
Interesting. And then you got, fired from school, expelled, whatever you want to say. You went to Northeast.
Fired from Mount St. Joe.
Then Northeast is next.
Then I went to Northeast. How long was I there?
Not,
they got
not
kicked
even
out.
a year.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what? Did you just drop out and get your
No,
GED? or?
He did drop out, and you got your GED.
Well, I got in the fight.
Yeah, that's when they kicked you out.
That's when they kicked me out.
They weren't going to let you back in.
So I got into a fight. They kicked me out. They took me to jail. I was
Over
7.
the fight?
Yeah, well, basically because it was like an attack, they said. Because I went into his classroom and fought him, and I wasn't in his class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
But-
like hit him from behind? I mean, if it wasn't like a jumping, I don't know why.
No. It was a mutual combat.
That's insane. Though.
But I was going like classroom to classroom. I didn't know which classroom he was in.
So he was
Jesus Christ, like the
searching for him.
Columbine shooters. Gee.
I was my inspiration, my inspo. They said that, huh? That I was searching for him, right?
Oh no, I'm saying you went.
Oh yeah. But I've recently I recently found some paperwork from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But going through my old paperwork. But yeah, I basically fought this kid I knew.
They were friends.
We were friends, and that's why it hurt so bad that I had to fight this motherfucker. So I fought this kid, and they took me to jail. The officer in school and all this, they took me to jail. Well, because I fought the kid, then I calmed down, and then it's like they had me in this room. And then I could hear him out in the hallway running his fucking mouth, and he didn't know I was in the room. And I like ran out the hallway, like went after this motherfucker again. And they were like, "All right, that's it." And that's when the officer, because prior to that, the officer's like, "We've never had a problem with you. You're new here. You seem okay." Yada yada. And I was like, "I'm fine. Like I'm sorry. I'm not gonna happen again." And they didn't have me in cuffs or none of that. But then when I ran after him that second time, they were like, "You're going in cuffs," you know?
Was it the lady cop at Northeast?
Yeah, Tringali. Yep,
Boom.
100%. Slammed me up. She slammed me up after I ran back after him. But
I don't know many teachers' names. I know her name.
me too. Same.
Why?
Well, same. Well, I
I don't
remember Miss
know.
Gronk because it was her classroom, math class that I walked
Yes,
in. I walked in her
okay.
classroom and fought Rob.
She was
R.I.P.
kinda cute,
Rest
to
in
be
peace to
fair.
Rob. In all seriousness. Yeah, they took me to jail, and then this is the funny part, right? So I'm living with my mom, and my mom's softer than my dad, obviously, right? The feminine energy, the masculine energy, and my dad has a tendency to have a temper and to really get upset. And so my mom, instead of going to get me from jail, she calls my dad and is like, "Go get your son." And so I'm sitting in jail waiting for my mom. And my dad walks through, and I'm like, "Can I stay? Can I fucking please break a law and be in here for?" This is not what I expected. I swear to God, I was not expecting him to walk through. You know, I'm not getting communication from you guys. I'm in jail. So he gets me, and he has his head on straight for these officers. You know, and I guess for himself, right? Or maybe you told him to stay calm or something. Because look, I get in his car, and he is like not yelling. Which I'm like surprised at already, and I'm still fuming mad about the whole situation. And then we were like silent for most of the ride home, and then maybe 5 minutes from home, 2 minutes from home, he's like, "So what happened?" And I'm like, "Man, you know what the fuck happened?" I'm like, and then I start yelling, and he slams on the brakes, and I slam the door. And when I get out of his passenger side, I slam his car door, and I swear to God, as soon as I hear that door slam, my father is out of the door right here, right to fucking half-inch from my face. Like, as soon as the door slammed, he's like, "Slam my fucking door!" I'm like, oh my God. Fuck you. Fuck that door. And then I left. I walked off. And then my dad had to go explain to my mom why he came home without me. Because she's like, "Go get your son. You have one job." My dad's like, "He fucking left. He's gone." I came home for like a day or two. Yeah, so then actually the next year they did let me back because they did expel me.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had to write a letter and go sit on the board of educators or whatever the fuck, and they let us back.
Right. That and the DMV. Remember, we have to go to all those stupid classes at the DMV.
From the
You had
DUIs.
100 points, and you were going 300 miles an hour down the Beltway.
So look, dude, my first DUI. It's terrible that I have more than one, but my first DUI, I was driving, and it's late at night. I'm like out partying with my friends. I actually had a designated driver. I end up, it's him and his girlfriend. I end up dancing with his girlfriend. He gets mad at me. Him and I get into a fight, a physical fight. So I fist fight my designated driver, and which is like not recommended, right? Because now I'm like, fuck you and her. Okay, you're both getting left in the city. I'm at like, so I leave them. I leave them both. I think we're at like Iguana. It's like the 18 and up club where you can drink if you're 21. So we're hammered, right? The people who can get hammered are hammered. I'm driving home. It's like 2:30 in the morning. Driving, minding my fucking business. Again, 5 minutes away from home. I'm on East Shore Road. This car pulls out of nowhere. I smash into this car, and it's like, you know,
I remember that.
The cops are there. My car's tires are bent out. I mean, I smashed pretty hard into this car, who came out of fucking nowhere. And these cops came up to me and they're like, "Are you okay? What's going on? Are you drunk? Are you injured?" I'm like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "You guys need to check that guy," you know? You know, I'm going on and on about this, how this guy came out of nowhere. He had to have ran the stop sign because there was nobody, yada, yada, yada. And they just let me talk for like 30 seconds or a minute. And they're like, "You hit a parked car, you know, you realize you slapped into this parked car." And then the person whose parked car it was like, her whole family was out. Now I know her, right?
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, and then it was like, I'm like trying to hit on her as I'm like in the handcuffs. I'm like, "My information's in the police report." So she was like cute, you know. I'm like, yeah, that was a good time. I think you came to that accident site.
Yeah, I came there. Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite stories from Two Broke Boys.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yep.
I didn't listen to every single episode, but
Yeah.
the ones I did, that was my favorite story.
True story.
You told it really well.
Yeah, like took my time with it.
Yeah, you really took your time with
Yeah.
it. You did a good job just now. But
It's one of my favorite ones to like really get into if someone hasn't heard it, you know. But
especially because the twist at the end, where like you really like sold that another person jumped out in front of you. You sold that hard.
This motherfucker.
But then when you pull the rug out and you're like, "That's a parked car."
Yeah.
Got him.
I mean, I genuinely had no clue, especially because by the time I was like came to, it was like there was just like smoke and car parts and fucking glass and.
Officer, you don't understand. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I'm like, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt for sure. I think I seen him drinking while he was driving.
I think he ran. I'm not sure. I might have run.
Yeah, I was talking hella shit to this cop.
He had a gun. He was waving it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was
Would you rather have boring kids? I mean, honestly, like
No,
I think this is.
I
it's
wouldn't
more,
trade them.
It probably gave you gray hair at the time, but like honestly, after the fact, like you look back, you get to laugh, you get to see that he's got his head on straight. He's a master electrician.
That's a good thing. Yep.
He's
Very proud of him.
Overall good guy. You know, he might have some
Quirks.
tendencies here and there, but who doesn't, right?
oh yeah.
No, very
I think you
proud
did a
of
good
him.
job, and I appreciate you for him.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you did a great job, Mom.
You nearly fucked it all up, Justin.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
No, you came through a lot. You did a
I
lot.
remember you telling me, like, you every time your phone rang, you thought I'd be dead.
I used to never answer my phone. I used to always turn the ringer off for years. I still do it sometimes.
Well, that's just got to be such a shitty feeling, right? That any call at any time, because when you're
Well, it was either, the police or you in an absolute dire situation. So
absolute right now, something's on fire. I need you.
come. Where am I?
You poor thing. You didn't ask for none of that shit.
Well,
and I remember you saying even years after I was clean, you were like, every time the phone rang, you'd still get that feeling, and then that feeling went away for you for a while, which is nice.
and yeah, it's gone away.
Yeah.
Well, if this doesn't go anywhere in a year, those feelings might come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill myself if this doesn't launch. So, I know you love when
How
I joke.
many? What are we trying for here? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
a lot of subscribers.
Yeah.
you know.
Enough subscribers that I don't turn into a domestic terrorist.
Honestly, if we can get 1,000 people in the world that just like him, I'd be happy with 1,000.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
think
like
that
low numbers.
Yeah, we're aiming for 1,000 subscribers. I'll put a date on it, but once I say it, I have to stick to it. So I'm not trying to.
Okay,
Right now, I've
don't
only
put a
said.
date.
Well, sometimes when I say subscribe, I'll say do it for Sheila, because people will care about you more than me, and if you
And now
lose
that
me,
they know who you are, do it for Sheila means something.
yeah. Your parents are dying. What's that like?
Oh God, that's stressful.
Stressful, huh?
Yeah, the wound care nurse went and saw Poppy's got a sore on the bottom of his heel, and she said she called the day before to say she was coming. Well,
Well, it's a lot of good that
she
day.
talked to Granny. Granny said, "I don't know where he's at. He's not around here." So
He doesn't live here anymore.
this isn't my house.
She's. I don't even know who I am.
So then the next day she came and she said, the TV was so loud they couldn't hear her banging, and she finally just like opened the doors and walked in, and she said, "Your mother was dancing, and they were listening to music, and she was dancing."
What?
Yes. I said, "Oh,
That's
I've
kind of
never seen
incredible.
that." Yeah. She said she was dancing, and then she thought she was nonverbal because she never said anything the whole time she was there.
Oh wow.
And Angela, the other caretaker, she goes, "Oh no, she talks. She can talk."
Wow.
But she thought she was nonverbal.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's quiet.
Yeah,
But
but
damn.
she just giggles.
Oh,
Makes
that
noises.
giggle.
That noises.
Yeah, she don't like the silence, so she's like,
No.
she'll do the.
Well, she can't hear, and she won't wear a hearing aid either.
Well,
So-
Pop can't hear neither.
No, but he can hear better than her.
Mm.
But yeah,
I'm jealous. All my grandparents, when I was young, all of them, lost them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got good genes at least. You got something going on.
yeah, we do have good genes. My grandmother lived till she was 95, and the other one lived till she was 91, 93, something like that.
Yeah, I remember their knuckles.
And
They had these
granddaddy
fucking
was
knuckles.
88, so they did pretty good.
I don't know if. Yeah, that's a long time.
I know. It's hard to. I mean, it's really hard to say. The quality of life.
Well, that's
and-
what you have to balance. Is what's the quality of life?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have good days and bad days, but there's really not a lot of quality.
Yeah, I mean, Pop, well, especially since he broke his shit. Once you're that old and you break something, it's like even though the doctor's like you're okay, he's like,
Right.
I feel like I'm in pain. I'm not okay.
Right.
And then it's like also he wasn't super physically active for many years.
No, but he used to do a lot. I mean, he did all that woodwork, and he made all that
he did,
stuff.
but no actual exercise.
Right.
I mean, definitely active, yes,
and
but I think
he
that exercise
retired
is a little
probably when he was like 55. He took early retirement.
How the fuck does he do that?
BG&E, he started when he was 20, I guess, and he worked so many years, and he's got the best benefits in the world. And yeah, he's been retired for like 30 years.
That's what I'm saying. I've never known him to work. As long as I've been alive, this
Yeah.
motherfucker's been sitting around drinking Miller Lite. So, yeah, I guess there's not much to talk about there. You're just watching your parents decline slowly. You're you're their main caretaker.
Yeah.
I mean, you have help, but that's just like I see. Everyone knows you'll lose your grandparents, right? You'll lose your parents. Everyone you love is going to die. That's what this life is.
Mhm.
But I get like. Yeah, I just get like I can't really see it from your perspective, and it's just got to be a different thing because they're your parents, So
Right.
it's just like, yeah, and then also like you said, just the stress of it. It feels like there's constantly this like little bit of a static, right?
Yeah. I mean, just their bills and their prescriptions and their doctor's visits and the appointments and everything, and the grocery shopping.
And then
And the
insurance doesn't
food.
pay for them to go somewhere, right? Or they would, but they just don't want to go.
They don't want to go nowhere.
Understandable.
And we were trying to talk him into letting somebody move in the West Wing, and he's like, no.
Why the no again? Because he thinks he's going to have to host them?
I don't know. I want to say, if something happens to you, what's going to happen to Mom? Because she cannot live there by herself. Absolutely not.
He's going to say, well, worry about that when something happens to me. I'm here.
Well, that's what that's what he is.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Does he talk to you about his death at all?
Oh, he's told me he wants to die.
I mean, yeah, I know. But that's not what I mean. See, that's the type of thing, like, he'll say that, but not actually discuss, like...
No, we don't have any in-depth discussions about life or death or anything like that.
Like,
no.
to me, it would be
He's
like...
got all his arrangements done, paid for all the funerals and all that stuff.
He doesn't talk to you about the afterlife or heaven or that process of dying or what it's going to... He's
he
scared
talks about praying. He'll pray... Oh, I prayed to the three of them to take me last night.
Jesus fuck. I love how morbid it is. It's like, yeah, well, he does pray about suicide daily. Like,
I mean, it's not every day.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. He has good days and bad days.
Yeah.
I've heard him say it too, but it's like, it is interesting to watch someone be in so much pain or just to feel like I've done it. I did it.
Yeah.
The life is over. I've done it. And then just feel like now I have to wait until my body decides it's time to go. It's like, it's just a weird fucking thing that no one wants to look at or talk about because then it reminds them that they're going to have to be there someday,
Mm-hmm. And then you think of the alternative. Well, what if they died early, like your father? He didn't get a chance to get old.
And that's where that weird line is, right?
Yeah.
It's like it depends on where the decline starts, right? Or how bad it is. But it's like...
how long it lasts.
Yeah, because there's something to be said about that, dying early or like getting it, having all your healthy years. I'm terrified of it. I think about it all the time.
Oh gosh. We were talking about, we had a cousin lunch and we were talking about Pop. We used to have a pool in the backyard, and they would have at their house now.
Oh, an above ground pool.
Yeah, above ground pool. And because all 4 kids, we would do that, and we lived on a dead end road and there was nobody but us 4. And we were in the pool all the time. But my father would have cookouts. They would have cookouts, and he would throw everybody in the pool, women and kids, and they would chase people through the woods. They would chase people down the street. My cousin was talking about it. She said she was 16 and she was on a date for the first time with her future husband that she didn't know, but it was her very first date. And my father threw her in the pool, and she had on a white shirt and something shorts.
That's
and
why
she was
his old ass was
very upset.
Oh God.
And she said, "Yeah, see, the guy was really upset too because she had to go home and change her clothes and this and that and blah blah blah." I'm like, oh God,
Pop just thought it was funny or what?
Oh yeah, he thought it was hysterical. He did it all the time. You come to the house, you're gonna get thrown in the pool.
Love it.
Well, hey, thanks for coming here, Mom.
Oh, you're welcome.
I love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, we'll have you on for a part 2. Go over some more trauma. Okay.
It's a great meeting you.
I think we hit all the trauma.
Oh, you know what I forgot to say in the beginning too is we're doing the giveaway. If you comment something, we might have to just splice this into the front, right? We're doing the giveaway. If you comment on one of the latest YouTube videos, also subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen or watch. Subscribe, and if you're subscribed to the YouTube and do a comment, we are going to give away $50 as a gift card or as weed. Just kidding. Mom, it's satirical. If this doesn't work, I'll kill myself. Damn.